Hi, my name is Julia Cheleru, and I'm the Regional Director of LMRE Canada. For those new to LMRE, we are a global recruitment agency focused on placing amazing talent into the PropTech and real estate industries. We're also extremely fortunate to work alongside some of the top VCs in the PropTech ecosystem to help scale their portfolio companies and their own teams as well. So we wanted to take this opportunity to spotlight some of our good friends to learn more about their business, portfolio, and get some advice for those that are looking to access the VC world from both a capital and talent perspective. So I'm happy to be joined today by Anvesh Rai, principal at Greensoil PropTech Ventures. Hi, Anvesh, how are you?
Good, Julia. Thanks for having me.
No, it's my pleasure. So can you kick us off with an introduction into your professional background and what you do at the firm?
Absolutely. I'm Anvesh, principal at Greensoil PropTech Ventures. I'm a computer science engineer by trade, started my career working at JP Morgan, and I've been in the venture industry for the last 7 years. Started out working as a generalist in investing in Saas businesses and being a specialist or a PropTech specialist over the last 5 years now.
Nice.
In my role, sorry, go ahead.
And how did you decide to specialize in PropTech?
It's an interesting story. So I've obviously always been passionate about technology in general, given my background. And one of the things that I learned, or one of the biggest ways for me to make an impact, is by helping or supporting entrepreneurs or backing entrepreneurs who are really creating businesses that'll have a meaningful impact on the society. Real estate, in the hindsight, is also the largest asset class in the world. So being one of the largest asset classes, plus one of the asset classes that is one of the largest emitters of carbon dioxide, I figured it's a good way for me to be investing in something that is at the intersection of real estate and technology and climate tech as well. So that's how I landed up at Greensoil, which is where I am now.
That's awesome. And I guess we meet and work with many early stage PropTech companies who are looking to grow. And we also like to make introductions to VCs where there's a fit. So with that said, you gave us a little bit of a prelude into Greensoil PropTech Ventures. I'd love to learn more about your firm's investment thesis and at what stage you usually invest.
Absolutely. So our fund invests in high growth real estate tech companies that are digitizing or decarbonizing the built environment. So in terms of our focus, 100% of our fund is focused on companies that have, in addition to PropTech, they also have at least one kind of an impact on E, S, or G factors. And about 67% of our fund is allocated toward carbon reduction technologies. So that's just from a thesis perspective. In terms of our typical areas, we would invest into demand response or transactive energy, distributed energy, building electrification, intersection of fintech and PropTech, intersection of mobility and smart cities, health and safety. Those are some of the areas that we invest in. And from a stage perspective, we have 2 investment buckets, a core and a non-core. Core investment buckets is typically companies that are doing anywhere from $2 million to $10 million in revenue. Mm-hmm. And in those types of companies, we would typically write a $3 to $5 million first check, up to $15 million through the life of the investment. And in non-core, which is a seed stage, those are companies that have some kind of market traction, market validation, up to $2 million in revenue. And those types of companies would write $500,000 to $1 million check, and the goal is the companies would graduate to becoming core.
Nice, and I like that because it's early stage support at the end of the day, which is great. So I'm curious to understand, what are some of the companies that you've invested to today?
So in our fund one, we made several investments. We invested in 12 companies. Some of the companies that you would have come across, we invested in a company called Honest Buildings, which was a project management platform focused on landlords. They merged with Procore. Procore went public. Invested in DealPath, which is a real estate deal management platform based in San Francisco. We invested in Electric Power. Electric Power is a fully integrated solution focused on energy storage, and then helping you also do manage your energy during on-peak and off-peak hours. Mm-hmm. Invest into a company called Carbon Cure, which is a carbon sequestration technology based in Canada. They take carbon dioxide and pump it back into concrete. So essentially you reduce the amount of concrete you're going to use and also reduce the carbon footprint. ThoughtWire, which is another one, which is a digital twin company focused on smart buildings, healthcare buildings, as well as smart campuses. So those are some of the companies in our fund one. In fund two, we have made 2 investments so far. The first company is a company called Oxygenate, which is a classic HVAC play focused on indoor air quality. Just given the whole pandemic situation, it is a very highly relevant area. So we made our first investment in Oxygenate, and the second company that we have already invested in is a property management company that guarantees the NOI for landlords. We'll be announcing that shortly, and we are looking at 3 or 4 other companies as well, which we expect to close by the end of summer.
Well, you've been keeping busy. No, that's awesome. And I guess like as kind of, moving on to the next section of our interview, but as recruiters, we get a lot of candidates that are looking to get into the PropTech VC space. And I know that you've also grown your team, obviously, to help support some of all these deals that you've been doing in the past. So I guess, you talked a little bit about why you wanted to get into VC, but what advice would you have for any candidates that are looking to, get a role with a leading VC company like yours?
Absolutely. So maybe I'll define it in 3 parts. The very first part is around the understanding of real estate. So one of the big things is, especially as a PropTech VC, you need to understand, or you need to be able to understand the nitty-gritty of the real estate industry. What are the different types of asset classes? How exactly do they work? Or what are the kind of teams that they have, and how exactly do they work together? Also understanding the challenges that the real estate industry faces, and how exactly some of those challenges can be resolved, or what are the solutions that you can potentially have to resolve some of those challenges that the industry faces. So that's the first part. So candidates who have ideas or thesis or solutions that can potentially help real estate owners or developers or managers, that's something that would make a candidate very, very attractive for a group like ours. The second part is understanding of the VC landscape, which is the basics of venture capital 101, kind of like financial modeling, strategic analysis, term sheet negotiations. How do you evaluate different businesses, and maybe even like legal documentation? What are the kind of things that you typically do when running a VC process? Go-to-market strategy, addressable market, team analysis. So that's the second part that we would look for in a candidate. And the third part that I would suggest for candidates to try is network their way in the space. Networking is a huge component of not just the PropTech VC, but VC space in general. So definitely network with the real estate guys, because most of the candidates who come across are candidates who have either been recommended or referred by someone, or somebody that has been validated by another professional that we know of in the industry.
Yeah, no, and that's such good advice, because it's, as you say, extremely comprehensive, especially when working in PropTech. I think having that real estate experience and understanding how technology really fits into the built world is something that's going to make the candidates really stand out at the end of the day. So then, curious then, to close us off, from Greensoil PropTech Ventures perspective, what are some of the plans or objectives that you have for the rest of the year?
Absolutely. So our fund is currently fundraising for our second fund. We had our first close, which was announced earlier this year. We are continuing to fundraise for the remaining second and third closes. So the very first objective would be to assist in a successful fundraising from like-minded real estate institutions, as well as other institutional investors who believe in our thesis, look at the world in the same way, and realize that the whole real estate industry is transforming and want to be a part of that. The second part obviously would be, once we have the capital, which we currently have dry powder, and obviously as we continue to raise, source, evaluate opportunities, execute transactions that would help real estate ecosystem either minimize risk on their portfolio or generate additional returns for their portfolio while creating an impact as well, as I mentioned about the ESG factors or the carbon footprint side. And the third part would be working alongside our portfolio companies that we have already either invested in or we would be investing in, and our co-investors, to help our companies scale and generate outsized returns for our investors and for our fund. So those are the three key objectives for the remaining 2021.
Very big goals, but knowing you, I know they're going to get done, which is awesome. So thank you. Thank you for your time today, Anvesh, and for diving deeper into the work that you do at Greensoil PropTech Ventures. We wish you good luck and look forward to continuing to work together. For those looking to stay in touch with Greensoil, please check out their website. It's gspv.vc and follow them on their social media channels. But yeah, I hope you have a great day, Anvesh.
Thanks, Julia. Have a great day as well.
To you.